Hello everyone, my name is Kegan, and today I wanted to make a quick video going over a handful of things that I feel like would help a lot with people who are streaming to VRchat, specifically people who are new to streaming VRchat, or just streaming VR in general. Now, some of this information that I'm going to go over, I believe actually a lot of bigger streamers kind of overlook as well, so uh, this might be useful for some of you to watch in case you're interested. Um, now, I try to stream every day except for Sundays for a few hours, 7 to 11 Central Time. So if any of this stuff that I go over is something that you would like to ask me more in detail, you can jump in the streams and ask me there, or in my Discord, you can message me there. I'll put both of those in the description so that you guys can contact me in case you're interested in any of the stuff that I go over. So the things that I want to go over specifically are OpenVR, how to use the stream camera in game, which for people who have played VRChat for a while will know the ins and outs of this for the most part. OVR Toolkit, and related programs. I don't actually know the names of all the other ones, but there are other programs that do the same thing. Advanced settings, which isn't actually needed for streaming, but it can make the experience a lot better. The particle limiter that VRChat has actually released, and then how to kind of like set up the game a little bit, as well as a couple of bonus information that can be really interesting to specifically people who have been in the game for a while, because some of the stuff that I am doing, for example, the camera that you see rotating around me now, is something that I don't see anyone else doing, but is actually quite simple to set up. So let me start by getting rid of this, because I forgot to get rid of this window. All right, goodbye. Right, first topic, OpenVR, and why you're going to most likely want to get it. And I say most likely because it's not 100% necessary for streaming. But what OpenVR is it is actually a very simple plugin for Streamlabs or Streamlabs OBS, which allows you to capture the image that is actually going from the game to your headset or your HMD directly. So this is very, very useful, not just for VRChat, but for other games as well for different reasons. But basically, think of it like this. You launch VRChat in VR, and this, unfortunately, I don't, let's see, hold on. Yeah, this won't apply for desktop users, so this is VR specifically. But when you launch VRChat in VR, it's going to, I don't know why I'm pointing behind me. My computer's behind me, so if you see me do this, I'm pointing at my computer. But your computer is going to open VRChat, and it's going to show what you're seeing on the screen on your computer. Now, that's your point of view, but there are some problems with that image. Now, your headset eyepieces are not like square screens, and so to get it to fit onto a square display on your computer, it crops the image. Now, because you have your nose, which fits in between the two screens, the screens have these cutouts, right? And that causes the image to crop high, meaning that if you are recording your desktop view, it's going to crop a lot of the bottom of the screen off, meaning that when you're looking directly at people like this, like I'm looking at myself in the mirror, it's going to be cropping a lot of this, and to the viewers, it is going to look like you're looking up all the time. Not a lot, it's not huge, but it is subtle, and it's noticeable enough that a lot of streamers who don't know about OpenVR or that don't use it, they tend to just use their camera, which we'll go over in a second. So OpenVR, look that up, put that in your Streamlabs or Streamlabs OBS, play around with it. It's very helpful, and it even allows you to switch which eye you're recording from, because I believe by default it records from the left eye. But if you're like me and you're right-handed, you can switch it to record your right eye instead, which makes a lot more sense if you're, say, playing a target practice game or something, because you're aiming down your scope. It's kind of weird if the viewers are looking down from your left eye instead of looking down the sight, which is what you're going to be doing. Anyway, yeah, so OpenVR. Next, is the stream camera. So I mentioned that some streamers kind of get over this problem with the cropping of the screen by just using their stream camera. So in game in VRchat, now this won't help you with other games. This is just VRchat specific. We can open up the stream camera, and I believe, yeah. So this should change the camera for you guys to see on the screen now. But the stream camera, when you pull it out, actually overrides the image on your desktop. Now I still see the game as normal, as you can see from OpenVR, but this is now the desktop. So if you were not using OpenVR, this would be the only thing on the screen, basically, right? So OpenVR will give you the ability to record your point of view and the desktop point of view, or the stream camera in this instance. And so if you don't want to use OpenVR, you could just use this and only record this, and then, you know, utilize this in different ways. One way is you can go to these tabs here, the pins, and actually create 3 different camera sort of like settings to use. One of which is this one, which causes it to always look at your head. So even if I tip it like this or turn it, it's always going to be looking at my head. But let's say I want to show the stream something going on the other side of me. I could go to a different pin, flip the camera around, and then I could just carry the camera around like this and point to what I want the stream to see. And then if I want to talk to the stream, instead of turning the camera around, I can just click the other pin, and now it's on the lock camera, right? So this is what I see a lot of bigger streamers doing, and that's perfectly fine. Another thing to keep in mind is if you do choose to do OpenVR and record your point of view and say use the stream camera, what a lot of people like is cutting out all of this background here, which is, there's a couple of ways to do this. And VRchat, again, makes this really simple. All you need to do is click this, what is this called? Filters, and this one up here is called Alpha Transparent. And then as you can see from the recording, this background, which looks black here, has now been cropped out, and instead of, it's just showing my point of view there instead, right? This seems super easy, but keep in mind that in Streamlabs, you will need to, for this recording on the stream, you will need to go into properties and make sure that you have alpha transparency turned on. If you do not, it's just going to show this black on the back as well. And then you can do green screen as well, which is what I see a lot of people doing. Not recommended. I would use transparent unless you plan on doing something else with your green screen, but that's how you set that up. And then using this camera can be kind of clunky from time to time. And yeah, I think that's just about everything that you might want to know about the stream camera. I imagine you'll figure out more of it as you play with it, and the filters and everything else. Let's see. Okay, so that is how to use the stream camera. Okay, OVR Toolkit. OVR Toolkit is actually this thing I have on my wrist. Now, if you're streaming in VR, it's going to be very difficult for you to see the stream chat. You could try using the Steam overlay, but this is not ideal. And you don't want to have to keep opening and closing that to check your chat all the time, to look at your desktop view and everything else. So what you can get is OVR Toolkit, and there are other programs like it. I do not recommend getting OVR Drop. OVR Drop, I think, is like, it's like a dev tool or something for other people to create. And OVR Toolkit might be, I can't say for sure, so don't quote me on this, but it might be based off of that. And I know that there's another program very similar to OVR Toolkit, which does work just as well, which I can't remember the name of, but just keep in mind that you're going to want to look for something like this. What I use is OVR Toolkit, and it works great for me. But what I've done is I've put my chat here on my wrist, as well as my activity feed. So for example, if I get raided, I can see that I got raided. I can make sure to thank that person for the raid. I can see follows. If you've been streaming for any time at all, you understand the activity feed. And then on the bottom of my wrist, I have my actual stream stream manager so that I can make sure that the stream is still running and doesn't go down for any reason. And that's just how I've set it up. You'll see that a lot of other streamers have done something different. But just keep in mind that this tool is called OVR Toolkit, and it is, in my opinion, essential for streaming in VR and VRchat. Cool. All right, next up, let's see, we had OVR Toolkit. Next up is advanced settings. I technically have 2 advanced settings installed, so you'll see here I have advanced settings and then OVR advanced settings. That's because advanced settings used to be, you had to go to a website, download from like a GitHub, and then install it into your Steam, but now it is actually on Steam, right? So I installed it the old way and I've installed it the new way, and I just haven't made it a point to delete the old way. But advanced settings is nice because, let's go in here really quick. I have this thing here for motion, and using motion I can turn on space drag using my left and right hand. Once it's turned on, you'll need to set up the controls by going to bindings. You'll choose VRchat. Mine did it automatically because I'm in the game. And then you can come in here and you can change your controls and do different things like that. For space drag, what is space drag? Space drag allows me to take my hand and pull myself around. Now, again, as I said at the beginning of the video, this one is not super like needed for streaming. However, because of some limitations of VRchat and avatars and things like that, especially if you're new to streaming VRchat, you probably don't have like your own custom model just for you. You'll run into a couple of issues like not being able to touch the floor, having trouble picking up items, or maybe you just want to be able to fling yourself around using Play Space Mover, which just makes your streams a little bit more exciting. But it's a free program. It's just called OVR Advanced Settings. You can go to the Steam store, you can download it, and then each time you launch VR, just launch this as well, and you're good to go. All right, next up, particle limiter. In the description below, I'm going to try and link this as well, but VRchat has actually released a it's just a text file, like a notepad, and it just has some simple lines in there, like the number of particles that are being limited and things like that. And the reason this is important is because in VRchat, there are quite a few trolls and people who might mean you harm. And particles is the #1 way that people will crash your game. And they'll have things like particle guns that they shoot particles at you. Now, this particle limiter that VRchat actually has on their website, you can install, and it hard limits the number of particles that you will load, so you basically can't be crashed by particles. There are other ways to crash you, but particles is the main one, so this is just super nice. So yeah, look into installing that. They've got all the directions there on the link. And if you don't want it, that's fine. You can always try using the safety system to limit what people can do, but there are loopholes there as well. The particle limiter doesn't really have loopholes for number of particles, so it's a much more reliable way to manage your game. Okay, so particle limiter, and then how to set up the game. I think I kind of already went over that. I've got the chat and things like here so that you guys can see. And then there is one other thing I want to go over before I talk about sort of like the bonus thing, is that there is one other thing. If your game isn't running super well, because especially when you're streaming, this is going to be pretty taxing on your computer streaming a VR game. And VRchat actually has 3 different modes that you can run the game into. And these aren't really talked about. There's a lot of people that don't know about this. So just knowing about it will give you a nice edge. But basically, you have to do this for Steam in order to be able to do this. So if you're on Oculus and you're running VRchat through the Oculus, I don't know how you can do this, if it is even possible. But if you run VRchat through Steam, what you can do is hold down Shift, play the game. Well, you can actually click play and then a window is going to pop up and it's going to say, do you want to play VRchat in desktop or VR mode? And I don't think it matters which one you choose. I usually just choose desktop. But then before you hit play, hold down Shift and click play, and then just wait. And you'll see the VRchat logo show up on the taskbar, and then it'll start flashing orange. You can let go of Shift then and click on VRchat. And instead of launching the game, it actually launches a configuration window. and there's 3 drop-down options: VR high, VR low, and desktop low. Now, all 3 of these options actually affect how well the game runs, even if you're in VR. So if you choose desktop low, it will make VR mode run better. I'm not quite sure what these settings change, but desktop low does give the best results for giving you the best frames per second when running VRchat. And visually, I have yet to see a difference between the 3 options. So I would just recommend put it in desktop low, call it good, and reap the benefits of the extra frames that you get by having it running in desktop low. Right, okay, so that's basically everything I wanted to go over. They do have one bonus thing, but those are the main ones. So if you guys have any questions about anything that I went over, like I said, you can ask me directly on Twitch, or you can join the Discord, and I will try to get to everyone's messages there. I don't have a lot of messages right now, so I should have no problem. Yeah, right. Anyway, back to the bonus. The last thing that I kind of wanted to go over is more or less something that anyone who's been playing VRchat for a while will already know, but for those of you who are new to VRchat, or well, basically just anyone who's new to VRchat, you'll want to understand that VRchat, they're all worlds created by us, the people playing the game. The avatars are also created by us, the people creating the game, or playing the game. And what that means is actually something really, really cool for streamers. And what that is that you can use the worlds and you can use the avatars to enhance your stream. For example, there's a world called Deep Blue, which actually has a camera that has all kinds of cool filters and effects on it, and when you turn this camera on, it works like the stream camera in game and gives you some really neat things that you can do on your stream to sort of enhance that extra visual that you do. And then a lot of these effects can also actually be directly applied to your avatar that you upload. For example, I don't have my... Well, yeah, so let me just double check. Hold on. Expressions, cameras. Oh, yeah, so we're currently on front camera. Let me switch this to orbit camera. So you'll see that I now have a camera that is orbiting around me. That's just a camera that I put on my avatar, gave it a simple rotation animation, and that is now set to display to my stream camera on stream. And I even have other cameras. So you saw front camera already, which was just in front of me. I've got follow camera, which is now behind me looking over me. I have a bird's eye camera for playing on a really big map and people might want to see like a top-down view. And I also have a drone camera, which is a little bit more complicated. We won't worry about going over that in this video. My point being that use the fact that you can customize your model to do very cool things to enhance your stream. And you can visit worlds, like I uploaded this world myself, and you can do cool things in worlds to enhance your stream as well. But yeah, that's everything. My name's Kegan. I hope this information was useful to somebody, and you guys have a great day. Hopefully we'll see you in the stream. Bye-bye.